Alex, you caught the Beterbiev and Smith fight last week, I hope. Give us your thoughts, your feedback, your expectations, and how you see things going forward for both of the fighters.
Yeah, I remember I had spoke about how I was flip-flopping on how I felt, because I've seen Callum Smith since going to 175 look strong. He always showed flashes of great technique. But then also you saw when pressure was applied, he'd shell up, and we seen what Beterbiev is, and probably will continue to be. He's a guy that has more technical ability people give him credit for, and he stops everybody, and that's what happened. He was able to press Callum. He showed that he had the better jab, and he shows that he is one of the best finishers in boxing. 20-0, 20 knockouts. I was wondering if he'd age one of these days. Well, once again, that day has not came as of yet. So gets another stoppage. It was kind of brutal. Buddy McGirt did the right thing in stopping it because Callum Smith unfortunately might have been carried out of there. So what's next? Come on. I know, they know, we know. We want one fight only. No more mandatories, no more money grabs, no more homecoming fights. Beterbiev versus Bivol for all the marbles. It's one of the best fights to be made in boxing. I don't care where it takes place. It could take place in the moon, in Pluto, Saudi Arabia seems to be the place. Let's go. Let's get a date. They saying sometime in the summer, June, July. Hey, it's really not that long. We're boxing fans. We're used to guys fighting once a year. So we can get it within 5, 6, 7 months. Run it now. But Callum, man, it was a little heartbreaking. He had said, I wanted to prove I was the best. I fight to be the best. And I found out I'm not the best. He's still a good fighter. There's still good fights out to make, for him. I mean, plenty of action, just let alone in his own country, in England. A lot of people say they want to see him against Anthony Yard. You got Buatsi, Aziz. If he wants to take just a little comeback fight, maybe a guy like, Lyndon Arthur. Hey, they have Matchroom versus Matchroom versus Queensbury is supposed to be happening 5v5. So why not get Callum back out there? I think he's still a good fighter. He's still one of the best 175 pounders. Maybe if Bivol and Beterbiev didn't exist, he'd be champion 1, 2, maybe 3 belts. So yeah, congrats to both men. They're both good fighters, but we've seen what happens when you put a good fighter versus a great fighter.
Yeah, and that's a good point actually about the future for Smith. It's good. It's a good scene in the UK for those weights. So plenty of fights for him to go at. Josh, your verdicts on what you saw last weekend, mate?
Yeah, I don't know that I said it out loud, but I was thinking to myself, this is Callum Smith's time, and he has a real chance here with Beterbiev. As a matter of fact, I do this prediction league. I can't remember if I picked the upset, but I was thinking to myself that this was the perfect setting for Callum Smith in the sense that he's at 175, had some time there. It's been a long layoff, I guess you could say, for both, but for Beterbiev, of course, being the older fighter, I was wondering how would this work for him? And he pretty much proved that he is still the man there at 175 and is every bit as ferocious as he's always been. Callum was game and tough, of course. He put his chin out there on the line. And he found out the hard way. But I thought he had a real chance there. But it goes to show that, hey, Beterbiev, Bivol, that is the fight that needs to happen. As Alex has mentioned, at 175, I don't think any other one will satisfy right now. We just need that undisputed style unification to take place, and then we can finally have the air cleared on who is number one at 175. And I think it's a very intriguing fight, just given the dynamic of both, with Bivol having some bit of power, though it hasn't shown as much here over the latter portion of his career, and how he'll handle that with his boxing skills going up against Beterbiev, who I'd imagine he can land on, but how does he take the punches from Beterbiev? And I guess one comp in some sense from a power perspective is Joe Smith Jr., whom Bivol outboxed thoroughly, but in one of those rounds, and I'll say that it was only one round that he lost, and it was probably that one where he got hurt right there at the end. Joe was able to slip something in that had him a bit on shaky legs. But that was at the end of the round. Bivol came back out, picked up where he left off. So I haven't really seen him in any troubling situation outside of that. So it's a very intriguing contest. Just so happens to be two Russians. Time to make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely agree. We've been shouting about that fight for a long time now, haven't we? So it's about time that it's going to happen.